In 2018, WWE debuted a new show that would go on to air for 2 seasons. The first season received generally positive reviews, while the second season was less than stellar, and then the show was cancelled. And this WWE show was of course the Mixed Match Challenge, a mixed tag team tournament that aired weekly on Facebook. And the Mixed Match Challenge was a show that started off well before completely falling apart. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the cancellation of the WWE Mixed Match Challenge. WWE announced the Mixed Match Challenge to begin airing on January 12th, 2018, straight after SmackDown episodes live on Facebook of all places, and it would be a mixed tag team tournament with 6 teams from Raw and 6 teams from SmackDown competing to win money for their chosen charity with 1 match per episode. The teams were all revealed leading up to the big series premiere, with the Season 1 teams being made up of Team Little Big, Charlotte Flair and Bobby Roode, Team Rose Gold, The Miz and Asuka, Boss Club, Big E and Carmella, Jimmy Uso and Naomi, Rusev and Lana, Elias and Bayley, Naka Miawa, Apollo and Nia Jax, and Sami Zayn and Becky Lynch, a solid lineup and cast of teams for the first season of the Mixed Match Challenge. And there were definitely a few teams who were early favourites. Many of the teams had top stars in them, and a couple of the teams even had champions at the time in them. So there was at least some credibility in this tournament, and it wasn't just full of jobbers. In the first round, Boss Club, Miz and Asuka, Team Little Big, Naomi and Jimmy Uso, Rusev and Lana, and Charlotte Flair and Bobby Roode all picked up wins and went through to the next round. And the first impressions everyone got from the tournament was that it was really good fun, and the wrestlers themselves were clearly having fun and clearly enjoying it too, as the matches were almost being worked like live event matches, and they seemed to have a lot more freedom in them. We were also seeing wrestlers together and wrestler interactions that we had never seen before, which was fun, and that was kind of the point of the tournament, to have these stars cross over that you never expect. You know, like Alexa Bliss and Sami Zayn. Where do we ever see those two ever cross over? In this tournament, we got to see that. And following the first round of the tournament, the early favourites to win the entire thing were Team Little Big, due to having Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss and a star on the rise in Braun Strowman in the team. And then there was The Miz and Asuka, who were in this whilst Asuka was in the middle of her undefeated streak and also feuding with SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair on the build to WrestleMania. And Charlotte Flair, speaking of which, whose team with US Champion Bobby Roode would also be a favourite for this tournament, as both of them were champions. And sure enough, it was these 3 teams who would all win in the next round and move on to the semi-finals alongside Sasha Banks and Finn Balor, who won a second chance fan vote. The semi-finals would feature The Miz and Asuka against Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss, and Sasha Banks and Finn Balor versus Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair. Well, actually, Becky Lynch actually ended up subbing in this round, as Charlotte Flair was out as she had just had dental surgery. But anyway, in said matches, The Miz and Asuka and Bobby Roode and Becky Lynch all came out on top in some big wins, and the finals were officially set, with Charlotte Flair coming back for the finals. Sorry Becky, it was herself and Bobby Roode against The Miz and her WrestleMania rival Asuka. Perfect for the finals. A stacked final, and a final which, to be fair, like I just kind of said, was kind of predictable, as Charlotte and Asuka were feuding and facing each other at Mania soon, but alas, predictable doesn't mean bad, and the finals were set to take place on the season finale on the 3rd of April 2018. And I gotta say, this matchup in the Season 1 finals was easily the best of the entire tournament, and a really fun match. You had Charlotte and Asuka giving us a preview of their Mania match, Charlotte spearing and locking in the figure 8 on The Miz, who then go on to hit Bobby Roode with a skull-crushing finale to win Season 1 of the Mixed Match Challenge for himself and Asuka. A good final and a good set of winners, though once again, kinda predictable because of Asuka's undefeated streak, but once again, predictable doesn't always mean bad, and I think overall the first season of the Mixed Match Challenge was a success. It was good fun, it helped build up to WrestleMania, and it was just something different for the time. Season 1 was a huge W. Season 2, however, though, different story. Season 2 was announced to premiere later that year on September 18th and would be completely under a different format. This time, there was no charity. Instead, the winning team would get a holiday of their choosing and the number 30 spots in their respective Royal Rumbles, which is actually a really big prize for this level of tournament. Like, we're just handing out the number 30 spot on Facebook now? The tournament now had 10 teams in it as opposed to the 12 they had in it in the last season, and we're now doing a round robin format with 2 matches per week and the top 8 teams going into a tournament bracket. This meant that this season of the Mixed Match Challenge lasted a lot longer than the first season, with this season lasting nearly 3 months, whereas season 1 went about a month and a half. And the teams for this season were the Monster Eclipse, Country Dominance, BNB, Mahalisha, Team Pause, Oscar, Day One Glow, Ravishing Rusev Day, Phenomenal Flair, and The Fabulous Truth. And this season's tournament was definitely a lot more gimmicky and a lot more silly than the last, and that's thanks in part to the introduction of dance breaks by R-Truth and Carmella, which they would do in every single one of their matches. And hey, even though they had that, some matches that didn't have Truth and Carmella also just had random dance-offs take place in them. However, there were 2 main problems with this season of the WWE Mixed Match Challenge, and that's that it was far too long and the match format was overexposed, and it eventually turned into a jobber tournament. Due to other storyline commitments, many of the big stars or big names in this tournament were either eliminated early or just subbed out from the tournament entirely. AJ Styles swapped for Jeff Hardy, Team BNB lost one of their Bs as Finn Balor was swapped out for Apollo, Natalya lost fellow Canadian Kevin Owens for another Canadian Bobby Roode, and Ember Moon's teammate Braun Strowman was downgraded to Kurt Hawkins. There were literally no big stars in this tournament by the end of it, and by the end of the tournament, the finals was R-Truth and Carmella versus Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox, a complete jobber match, and a match that wouldn't even make it onto Monday Night Raw at the time. This match would take place on TLC, yes, this match happened on a real live pay-per-view, and R-Truth and Carmella of course picked up the win, and went on holiday to the WWE headquarters, and went on to enter in number 30 of their Royal Rumble matches. Well, R-Truth didn't, because Nia Jax attacked him and took his spot. Unlucky. Bro really did 3 months of mixed tag matches for Nia Jax to steal the prize from him. This would be the final season of the show, and it's probably due to the poor ratings on Facebook it received, which itself is probably due to how long and overexposed this season was. The first season did it perfectly, 1 match per show, lasting 1 month and a half, and it was different for the time, whereas in season 2, doing the 2 matches per show and having it last so long meant that the formula was overexposed, and the whole novelty of the tournament and what was it about wore off really quickly, whereas season 1 had that for the entire tournament. But listen, I say that right now is the perfect time for WWE to bring this back, and why not do it on somewhere like Netflix, where they've got that big deal they're doing now. This would be a perfect show and be perfect for that Netflix deal, and I also think that the Mixed Match Challenge would work perfectly with NXT at the moment. I think they have a great roster and a great show format to be able to do that tournament maybe on the show itself or as a separate show, who knows, but I would love to see the Mixed Match Challenge come back. Just do it the way you did it in season 1 and then we'll all be happy. Thanks for watching guys, make sure to subscribe for more wrestling videos and leave a like if you want to see the Mixed Match Challenge make a return.